Alright guys, here we are again with another video. So the last time you seen me here I had the Kraton 8S, big monster here, and we're looking at the problems with the bearings. So I've ordered a few parts, so I'm going to get this all fixed up now. So what I've got diff oil, which I've actually got 500k because I want to try and experiment. So I want to put 500k front and back. I know it should be a million or probably more than that really in the car. But what I'm hoping for is in the air, if I can get the tyres expanding and not pizza to the extent, but getting a bit more going through the wheels, I'm hoping I'll get even more air control with the car, maybe to possibly get some backflips and things. So we're doing that, and I possibly might up the centre diff oil, but it's a little experiment, so if it doesn't work out, easy enough change. So we've got diff oils. Also, I picked up these, I don't know if you know what they are, but they're RPM guards, so they're for the back here. So once I get this back end of the car back together, there'll be a plate either side that will sit here, and that should stop all the rubbish hitting off the shocks and getting caught in here and just making a mess. So that's one thing that does annoy me with the car in the mud, is you get a lot in the back on the drive shafts and things when these are all up and in. So it'll hopefully stop stones, just all the garbage that you can hit affecting the rear drivetrain. Because I was wondering as well, when this is all back together, and obviously the shaft's coming through here, there has been 2 or 3 times I've had big rocks stuck in there, and if the rocks are stuck in there, I wonder if that's what's been putting strain on the bearings and maybe making them break a little bit. So that's a wee prevention, and also just a little add-on part. Some shims, never have too many shims. What else have we got? I don't know why I picked these up, probably nothing to do for the Kraton, but just got some more wee washers and things like that, just for screw heads and stuff. So I like to have washers under all my screws when I rebuild things. And finally we got this complete bearing kit for the car, which comes with a warning, believe it or not. Warning, may cause trophies. I don't know anybody who's got a racing series for the Kraton 8S, but that's what it says on the pack. The reason I picked up these AVID bearings is when I went on the sites to look at them, so let's try and get a couple here. Yeah, so these 2 totally destroyed bearings here, for a pair of them it was coming in at about £12 UK money. So I don't know if that's what that'd be in dollars, maybe there's something similar, but £12 for 2 of them, £30 for every bearing in the car. So you add that up, this is the way to go. You can see it in there, the rubber shielded where they should be and everything. So I'll give these a try, hopefully they'll hold up. But yeah, what we'll do now is we'll get on to stripping all these packets open, take all the bearings off the diffs, get them all in, get the oil in, and fingers crossed the back end of the Kraton will be sorted. And once I get that done, now I've got the complete bearing kit. I'll do it off camera, but I'm going to change all the front bearings. And once the car's I'm really happy with the chassis and just basically everything in the rig, I'm going to get a new body ordered up, and I'm going to get some belted tyres on it, and I might up the gearing. So that's all long term sort of stuff, but because this is my biggest RC car, probably my flagship one in my fleet to be honest with you, I want to really give it the treatment and give it a good going over and look after, because out of all the cars that I've got, there's 2 or 3 that I would never get rid of. Kraton 8S is right up the top of that list. I absolutely love it. Big greedy monster on batteries, that's the only thing with going 5th scale. It does get more expensive, but once you've actually got the car, it's so much fun. So anyway, we'll get on with the bearings, and hopefully you enjoy this, and even more importantly than you guys enjoying it, hopefully my car is back to how it should be after this. So let's go. Right, so as you can see, my bench is getting pretty messy with oil and grease, so I'll clean it down at the end. Right now, because I've got the front end to do as well, I'm just not going to bother. But I've got everything roughly laid out here, how it goes back in. I've opened up the new bearing set, so they all look really good quality. I'll show you one just now. Nice good weight to them. No play, I can feel it all when I'm out of the box, which is always a very good thing. And they feel very smooth. So before we start on the diff, the ones that I'm going to replace, let's put it over to here for you, is these two here. So inside this metal sort of liner, there's a front and a back one for when the shaft comes through. So if you remember, I had a little bit of loose play in there, which you don't want the spiral gear moving about in there at all, because if that's moving about, it's not getting full contact with the diff when it's inside. So we'll get the A2 replaced, then we'll get onto the diff. So there's the old ones that I took out, there's the new ones. This one's absolutely destroyed here if I get on camera, if it's just for hammering it and stuff to get it out. It was quite jammed in, but we'll put the new ones in, and that's one good job done. Hopefully they'll just slide in. Yeah, that one did no problem. And this other side, maybe not as easy to get my finger in. Don't want to really push it with any tools unless I have to, because don't want to do anything to damage the actual bearing. Yeah, that's in nice and neat. So when the shaft goes through, which I'll do right now, here it is. Obviously the bearing's seated on here and there'll be no play in there at all. But before I put this in, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put some grease on this shaft, just because with doing that, hopefully it'll just stop it sticking and make it a bit easier to come out in the future if I ever need to change them again. Right, so now that grease is applied, I've got this little fat toggle sort of looking thing. Stick it in the side of the shaft, line up with the top hole, then line this up with the top hole too. Stick that on. Try to look at the camera and do this, so hopefully got enough in shot. It's quite a fiddly little job. There we go, almost in. There we go, that's that in now, so that's not going anywhere, absolutely solid. And we can push this through, line up with the drive cup in the centre diff, hopefully. Line that up there, and that's that in. So you can see that's very solid, other than I need to get the E-clip on the other side, which I'll do off camera. Alright, so now we've got that E-clip in and the shaft back in place. Take the bearing off here, see the same type size, put one new one on this side of the diff cap, and on the other side, which these ones weren't rubber shielded, these were just metal, but the new ones all seem to be rubber shielded. Is we'll get another one, match up the same size, same thickness, and we'll stick that on here. So they're running nice and free, feel good. And now what I'll have to do is get this all back together. So I'll just show you one side basically. So I've got this little gear which will give a further little clean up, nothing too crazy, but I'll just get a bit more grime off it. So when it goes through, this goes through this bottom of the cup, this will go on this way, sorry, and the little bar goes through the middle, if you can see that hole there, and we'll put a little shimmer under there as well. So we'll do that both sides, then we'll get ready to put some diff oil in. What I did forget to mention to you too while I'm doing this is, obviously this goes up like this, but what I want to do as well is I'm going to put a little shim on here first on either side. So I've got 4 here just now, so I'll just put one on each side of the diff, and I'll do the same when I get round to doing the front. So that way it'll just be a little neater finish and a better, hopefully that'll sit tighter in the sort of cup position inside the back of the case as well. Now to drop the spider gears back in. So one side, obviously you've got your flat spot to the top. I've kept the grease and oil on these as well because it's running nice and smooth with that, so I don't see the point in cleaning it off realistically when I'm going to be putting more oil in anyway. So another one goes flat bit onto flat bit. Hopefully go in there nice. There we go. So if I turn the bottom diff of my finger in here, you can see, there we go. Everything's moving very nice. Right, what I'll do now is just fill this up with the diff oil. It's got a wee nozzle and things, but I'm just going to pour it in, get as much in as I can. I'm not sure I'm making the right decision with the 500k. Maybe I should have went for a million or more, but we'll see what happens. I can always change it. It's not a big issue to do. But one thing I will say as I drop the diff, which is alright luckily, is it is actually a lot of fun. As much as you see a lot of videos in driving, I really do enjoy this whole maintenance side as well. When it's proper maintenance, not when it's something like laser nut where it just breaks when you get it and it's really annoying, but when you're looking after your cars and things like that, it's quite satisfying. So I'll leave that to sit for a while to go down, and I'll build up the other side off camera, and by that time we should be able to get the top on, spin this a few times, get all the oils going round evenly, and hopefully diff will be good. Right, that oil's kinda settled now, so if you can see in there, we'll just keep on. Oh, I can't actually without pushing these down, sorry. Just keep on trying to turn it round a bit, get underneath the gears, and let it settle again. And these bits are popping out, and once we can get a bit more oil in it, we'll get the top on. So I'll play about with this, a bit sticky and messy, but it'll be worth it in the end. Now that's on, one good thing that we've got with this, with the Kraton 8S, which you don't get on a lot of cars, is those little engagement slots, so you're not trying to spin this round to line up your holes. It's pretty straightforward. So screws in now, then we'll give it a spin, hopefully it'll feel nice, because if you remember originally we had a lot of sort of clunking and just rough feeling in the diff. Right, that's that done, and obviously if you're doing this yourself, you probably know this, but I'll say anyway, is once you've got these almost tight, just cross tighten them. Don't just tighten one really hard, then the next one. Just take your time, put them down nice and slowly, so you get this plate in nice and even. But as you can see now, I've got that done. No clunkiness, silent. Actually, to be fair, the 500k, it feels tighter than what it was in the car previously, so I'm not too sure what that was, but if I'll find it out, I'll put it up on the screen. It might even be been 500k or less, I don't know, but yeah, this feeling very nice now. So we'll grease it up, then we'll stick it in the back of the car and get things back together. Here we go, stick this in. Any little shims I've got in there should push that out nice and tight to the ends there. And once the case is on, get obviously these shafts in too. It'll almost be back to being a car again. 3, 4. Tighten these 4 up. We'll get the big one in the middle. Then it'll be on to putting the guards on the arms, get the wheels back on and things, and we'll give it a little test to see if it's running nice and smooth. Right, so that's the shaft on, and a little hard turn, turning nice and beautiful there, no wiggle or anything, so pretty happy. Diff's feeling really good. Right guys, I was standing about like an idiot for a while looking at these RPM mudguards, like how do they go on, how does this fit, both sides, etc. Read the small print, there's no picture, but it says they're only compatible with RPM arms, but that ain't going to happen here. So what we're going to do is, I might not do it today in this video, but I'm just going to get from my work some self-tapping screws, little thin ones, literally put them down, cut the little notch off the end here, bring them a bit lower, and stick them in there to sort of prevent rubbish going in. So I'll still use these, but yeah, if you're going to get RPM guards, keep in mind that it doesn't actually tell you unless you really look, they're only for RPM arms. So is what it is, but not a big deal, easy to fix. Also, without even buying these, you could literally just make up plates yourself with anything. Just anything in there would do the job, as long as it doesn't come up and hit the body. I tested this as well, so when these are on and the car's moving up at full suspension lift, they're not going to hit the body where I'm going to put them anyway, so they'll still work for me. Right, now that's all done, time to show you it all working.
Man, this car is huge. Honestly, it looks massive on the camera and on the bench, but I'm really happy with this right now. So when I'm turning the wheels there, it feels super nice and smooth. You can see the actual centre diff turning there a little bit just now, and when I do, so I'll lift it up a bit for you to see. So there's no drive issue there whatsoever, everything feels great. And yeah, all it's got to do now is get the Masher X tyres I want to get on it and get a new body. So I'll show you the body just now. This is the original Kraton body. I had a Bash Armour one for Proline before, but that actually broke worse than the stock one. I think it was just too hard, and in the winter it sort of froze and snapped in half pretty much. So it's a bit knackered at the front, this one. I've got some tape on it for just now, which I'll do. Get this back in the Kraton. There we go. And all that's left now is take it out for a rip and a test tomorrow and have some fun. So hopefully that was a good video, you enjoyed it, and I'll see you guys hopefully on the live on Sunday night. So catch you later, ball out, bye.